Good morning. Well, I'm going to say this is probably the first political show of this season that I'll be doing. Some of you may be surprised that over the summer, especially since the 2020 campaign is in full swing right now, I've had a little bit of an epiphany. And some of you may start to be surprised that I am no longer the liberal Democrat all the time person who voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. I'm not that person anymore. And one of the main reasons why is I guess I can blame the place I spend my summers, the trailer park, but not entirely. The television channels that we have available to us in the trailer park is based on management of the trailer park choosing channels that she believes the majority of the 500 plus trailers in the park the residents are interested in. So there's a lot of kid channels and a lot of sports channels, a lot of stuff that most intellectual people are not interested in, no offense. Um, but there's also no MSNBC. Now, that used to be a problem for me 10 years ago, 12 years ago. It's not so much anymore. I have long lost my love affair with MSNBC because all they do all day long is criticize the Republicans and criticize President Trump. And there's plenty to criticize President Trump over. His policies, though, I actually agree with a lot of them. I agree with a lot of the Republican Party's policies. I don't agree with them on social issues. You guys know that. I'm a firm believer in choice, in Roe v. Wade, abortion rights, birth control rights, and I am an LGBTQ activist. I believe that the LGBTQ community has every right to live their lives and be with whoever they want to be with and have the same rights as heterosexual people do. I do not believe in religion playing a part in any government laws that are made. So I don't agree with the Republicans on that one. But I do agree with them on just about everything else. And I did watch Fox News and I did watch CNN over the summer. And CNN again. It's all this free everything. This socialist light or socialist. Actually, I'm going to define socialism for you here. Because what the Democratic candidates for president, especially the Bernie Sanders and the Elizabeth Warrens, are talking about isn't really socialism. And that's the problem. To understand socialism, go to the damn Google or the actual dictionary if you still have an actual dictionary in your possession and look it up. Socialism is actually defined as political and economic theory of social organization which advocates that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. That's not so bad, right? Because I'm the community. My husband is the community. You all are the community. So that's kind of a good thing. But then there's something that is different. Just like we say the Islamic terrorists do not represent all Muslims, they don't rightfully represent Islam correctly. They misconstrue it, just like Christians misconstrue things in the Christian Bible to try to force us all to live by their rules. Well, socialism is kind of being misrepresented by the Democrats in this election cycle. And it sounds more like, see, over the summer I did a lot of reading and I read a lot of Ayn Rand. And if you're familiar with Ayn Rand, she's very anti-socialist. And of course, coming from Russia, as she emigrated from Russia, escaped Russia, communism, and came to America. And in America, she saw some trappings. She was very prolific in her writing, prophetic, because she wrote her books in the 40s and 50s. She wrote Anthem, which I read this summer, and Atlas Shrugged, which I reread parts of it this summer. And both books talk about what happens when socialism, misconstrued, becomes the law of the land. And it's a utopian socialism. And there's a definition for that on Google too. Here's utopian socialism, and see if it doesn't sound a little familiar to all of you who are listening to the Democratic candidates for president for 2020. Utopian socialism is achieved by the moral persuasion of capitalists. That's most of us. We go to work every day. We earn money. We want to use our money. We own businesses. We want people to spend their money at our businesses. We want to sell products. We want to be able to buy products. We're the capitalists. To surrender the means of production peacefully to the people. Now, if you look at that real definition, that's still not so horrible because the word peacefully is in it. The problem with most of the Democratic candidates, especially Sanders and Warren, is that they want to do it by force, by taxation. They want to force those of us who go out and work hard every single day to give up what we earn. Or if we produce a product, to give it away to people who can't afford it for free. That's our moral obligation, to take care of those who refuse to take care of themselves. Don't even start on me. If you are disabled and you absolutely cannot work, I'm not talking to you and I'm not talking about you. So do not email me and say, oh, I'm on the disability, you hate me. No. Okay? I'm talking about the millions, 40 plus million people in this country who are able to work, who go out every day to the gym, who run around and play and romp and do all this shit, and they say they can't get a job or they can't work or but they have no problem having babies. And then they run to the nanny government for support. And then the nanny government says, of course we'll take care of you. You are the blessed ones. You have children. We will take care of you. Well, who's going to pay for that? Guess who pays? Me, my husband, all of you out there who work your asses off and actually support the children you've chosen to have or have chosen not to have children because you know you can't afford to take care of them or you simply don't want them, which is your right. It's your right not to want kids in this country, although not by the Democrats' rule. Not by the Democrats' rule, because listen to what they say to you. We are going to make it better for families. Families. Now, here's the problem with defining a family, the way the Democrats define family. A family of 4 is what they say. Will save money with Obamacare. A family of 4 will see their premiums come down, their deductibles come down, get all this free shit. What about the family of 2? That's me. Believe it or not, my husband and I are a family. It's me, my husband, and our dog. We are a family, but we're not considered a family by both the government and by society at large. People will say to my husband, you a family man? And you know what that means. Are you a family man? It means, are you a daddy? Are you a baby daddy? Do you have children? And when my husband says, no, we don't have children, oh, you're not a family man. Yes, he is a family man. He goes out and he works his ass off every day, and he supports me and our dog. He supports his family. But the government, the Democratic government, the Democrats don't think we're a family. See, we're the people who refuse to have kids. So we're the ones who are tagged as responsible for the utopian socialism the Democratic Party is embracing this election cycle. They want us to pay for everybody else to have free health care, free K through 12, which we already pay for in our real estate, our school taxes, because we own a home. And for those of you who say even renters, which a lot of the people whose kids' education I pay for, K through 12, they rent their houses. And no, it's not the same. They're not paying school taxes. If you rent your home, you're not paying school taxes. This is what paying school taxes looks like, folks. People pay their mortgage because they own a home. Mortgages are not the $750 or $500 a month you pay for an apartment or a rental property. Mortgages are anywhere from $1,200 to $2,500 a month, times 12. And on top of that mortgage, we get a bill every September or August for the school taxes, which can be anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500 a year. We pay that so your kids can go to school for free. And, by the way, get free breakfast and free lunch, so you don't have to worry about feeding them either during the school year. We are expected by the Democrats to take care of that for you. God forbid you should have children and actually give them breakfast and lunch every day, or pay for their schooling. And again, those of you who own a house and have kids, not talking to you. You're paying your school taxes. Your children deserve their K through 12 education. But they are entitled to it in this country. That's what the government says. We have to pay school taxes so people can have free public school systems. Okay, fine. But now the Democrats want to go a step further. They want all the children to be entitled to a college education. Well, guess who's supposed to pay for that? Once again, me, my husband, child-free couples. And since when is college education something anybody is entitled to? See, once again, the Republicans say that's your parents' responsibility. If you choose to have children, and believe me, every statistic will tell you, if you do your research, before you buy a car, don't you research it? Before you buy a house, don't you research it? Why doesn't anybody research what it costs to raise a child in this country today? To raise a child today in 2019 from birth to age 18 is $250,000. So those of you who are making $15,000 a year, probably not a good idea to have kids right now. Yeah, maybe not a great idea. Because you may not make $250,000 in your lifetime, let alone in the next 18 years. If you want to raise a child that's going to go to college, you need to start planning for it before the child's even born. Smart parents do that. They set up college funds when their children are little infants, and they add to it. And it grows and it collects interest, and by the time the kid's ready for college, the money's there. But no, this socialist attitude that I owe a stranger's kid a college degree, and in what, liberal arts? So they can graduate college and go work at the McDonald's? No, I do not owe anybody a college education. In fact, I don't believe, it makes me angry that I pay school taxes, because I don't think I owe anybody else's child a K through 12 education either. Go ahead, hate on me for that, but I don't care. I don't have kids. I don't give a crap. And the way I see these kids coming out of the public high school system today with their little attitude, how much vacation do I get a year? They schedule job interviews, don't even show up. They want to make the most money working the least amount of time and with the least amount of sweat. They're lazy. They want everything done for them. And the Democrats look at Obamacare. A child can stay on their parents' health care until they're 27 years old. When you're 27 years old, not only should you not have mommy and daddy paying your health insurance, you shouldn't be living with mommy and daddy either. You should be out. You should have a full-time job with benefits, and maybe even starting your own family. You should be self-supporting, a responsible adult. You are not a child at 27. And the fact that the Democrats say children stay on their parents' health care until the age of 27, they're calling a 27-year-old 3 years away from 30 a child? No, they're not children. 27-year-olds are adults. It's time they start acting like it and being treated like it by our government, being forced to become an adult instead of being kept tied to mommy and daddy's apron strings. So the Democrats are talking free college education, free health care. Oh, get this one, guys. Free health care for illegal immigrants. Basically, they're giving free health care to criminals, people who are in this country illegally. Wow. My husband and I are American citizens. My husband fought in the Marines for this country, and we don't get free health care. But they want to give it away to people who just waltz across our borders and set up house. Really? That blows my freaking mind. That makes me so angry. So freaking angry. And then I just heard the other day that Trump is saying he wants to sign a bill that if you come into this country to live as an immigrant, you have to prove you either have health insurance already or you have enough money to pay your medical bills out of your own pocket. And I think that is a dandy idea. Good job, Mr. Trump, President Trump. I agree with that 100%. Until every single American citizen, including my husband and myself, have free health care, no immigrant waltzing into this country should be able to get it. No non-American citizen should get free health care in my country. I'm sorry. You know, sometimes it's just luck of the draw. I was born in America, so I should come first. You were born in a shithole like Guatemala or wherever these people are coming from. That's just tough luck. I'm really sorry about that. But it's certainly not my responsibility to pay for your health care and your children's health care. That is not my responsibility. That's your problem. Where you were born is your bad luck. A lot of people were born in horrible places, and they rose up, and they made themselves through hard work. They made it. They are contributing members of society. It can be done, but it needs to be done legally and respectfully. You don't walk into another person's country and just start taking. Got to give something back, folks. Got to give something back. And you got to learn our language. You got to learn English. Get a real job with real benefits. Pay your own way. That's what immigration used to be about in this country. That's why my ancestors who came here were welcomed. Although not always, not by everyone. But they were productive members of society. They never took a dime from their neighbors, and they never took a dime from the federal government either. They earned their way. But the Democrats, they just say, want to give everything away. And how are we going to pay for it? Well, of course, we're going to raise taxes. And of course, who votes for these Democrats? Well, I read a book recently that said that this is why I'm really into the Republicans right now. Because the Republicans, they know who is not going to vote for them. And the Democrats know who they can count on. The Democrats can count on anybody who receives government assistance. Welfare, food stamps, Medicaid, CHIP. They're going to vote for the Democrats. Because the Democrats say, we will take care of you. It's the government's job to take care of you. Now, see, I don't like that. Because I don't believe it is the government's job. Because the government isn't actually taking care of them. People like my husband and myself are taking care of them. Those of us who get up every morning, go out to work, and don't have fancy accountants with all the loopholes to get us out of paying taxes. We don't have accounts in the Cayman Islands. We're the ones who pay for it. Not the government. We're not the government, but we end up paying for it with our taxes. And we are overtaxed because we refuse to have children. The dependents. We don't have the dependents, the write-offs. We don't get the perks because we're not a family. Not the kind of family Democrats talk to. But now see, the Republican Party, they consider my husband and myself a family, sort of. They would prefer we have children because they don't believe in birth control or abortion. They think all women, all married couples should procreate. So that's where we kind of part company. But at least the Republicans expect every American citizen to take personal responsibility for the choices they make in their life. The Republicans do not want people having babies and then running right to the welfare office. They want people to make intelligent decisions before they have children. It's always funny to me how people say, well, what do? You don't want the children to suffer. Oh, I've got a great idea. I've got a great idea for you. You're not going to like it. But I say this, if I buy a house and I can't pay for it, what happens to the house? The government doesn't step in and pay for it. They take my house. So guess what? You can't feed your kids that you chose to have. You can't put clothes on their back. You can't buy them the Xbox or the internet or the cable TV. There's lots of childless couples out there in this world who wish they had kids. They'd be happy to take the kids that are being raised on welfare. Take the kids. When mommy or daddy, or mommy and daddy, or usually it's just mommy goes out, gets a full-time job, proves she can support the kids, she can get her kids back. They do it with drug addicts all the time. They take kids away from drug-addicted parents, and when the parents get their act back together, they can petition and get their kids back. I believe that would be a great idea. It would first of all send a message for the career welfare people who are out there. Not all of them, not everyone on welfare is like that. Some do see it as shameful. They do try to get off welfare. It is temporary for them. But for those who see it as a career, who have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids all on welfare, who have never even tried to get a full-time job to support their children, it would send them a message that's not going to work in this country anymore. You can't pay to take care of your kids, you're not going to have your kids anymore. That's the end of the story. Children are a responsibility, just like owning a house is. And children are not property. And they're not a right. They are a privilege. Those of you who are blessed and have chosen to be parents, that's the most important job you're ever going to have. So for God's sake, plan for it. Do it right. Because you screw it up, it's very hard to fix it. You lose a house, you can always get it back, get another house. You can find someone to take you in. You can find a way to put a roof over your head. But you screw up raising your kids, that's forever. You can't take that back. But the Republicans know that the people who will not vote for them are those that the Republicans will force to take responsibility and support themselves. And the Democrats count on it. And with 47 million people in America living on some form of government assistance, and please remember again, I'm not talking about disability here. Nobody has said more about disability in this country than Paula Luciano, Political Paula. I think it's horrendous how people on disability are treated. And you know why? Because the coffers, the Medicaid accounts are getting raided by able-bodied people who refuse to work but can work and should be working. That's why disabled people don't get their fair share. I know a lot of people who are on disability who can barely make ends meet. And they cry every day because they want to work. And they can't. They want to go to work. They want to be self-supporting. They're ashamed that they're disabled. And they're not disabled through any fault of their own. And then you got these 18, 19, 20-year-old girls getting pregnant every other year, sitting home all day, eating cookies and playing, Candy Crush on their phone that somebody else paid for, watching a TV somebody else paid for. And they're not ashamed. They're proud. Oop, Welfare is going to go down. If my kid's getting older, I better have another baby. Let me go find another daddy to make a baby with. That's how some of these girls are. I'm sorry. And believe me, I'm not making this up. I know people personally who have children on purpose, knowing that they're going to be on welfare or food stamps or CHIP. They do it on purpose. And they don't care. They think it's an entitlement because that's what the Democratic Party has been telling them for the last, since Bill Clinton. Whatever you think of Bill Clinton, he was the one who said if you're on welfare, you're going to work 20 hours a week. He wanted welfare women to go to work. He didn't want people to make welfare a career. And for some bizarro reason, I believe it was George W. Bush who negated that welfare to work law. And I don't know why, because he's Republican. Republicans are usually for personal responsibility. I don't know what made him do that. And if I'm wrong, I'm sure some of you will let me know. If it was Bush or Obama. Wouldn't surprise me at all if it was Obama. Because again, the Democratic Party anymore is the party of freebies. And not just freebies. Not like buy one, get one free. It's everything's free. Don't worry about paying for it. Your neighbors will take care of it through their taxes. Don't worry. Have as many kids as you want. Do whatever you want. Don't work if you don't want to. Why put yourself through the hassle? The government will take care of you through your neighbors' hard work. Your neighbors will go to work every day so you don't have to. Well, that makes it real hard for someone like me, who has never taken a dime from the federal government, and who has given definitely more than my fair share to support people I will never meet and I could give a shit about. It's going to be hard for me to ever vote for a Democrat again. I still am an activist for women's rights. The right to choose what happens in our own bodies is very important to me. My LGBTQ friends and family, I do support you. You have the right to love who you choose and to have all the rights that any of us have when it comes to marriage, inheritance, health care, health decisions. I will constantly keep hammering away at that. But this other crap with the Democrats, I gotta go. I'm sorry. Even if it means holding my nose and voting for Trump a second time. I mean, this time. I voted for Hillary the first time. But boy, after reading another book about her, she's scary. I am so glad she didn't win. And I've seen the damage Obamacare did to my husband and me as far as health insurance goes. I couldn't afford it. I went 2 years with no health insurance because the premiums just skyrocketed for us, while they got lower for people who used it more and had more people on the plan. It didn't work. Socialism is supposed to work for everyone, the community, of which I am the community. The people, I am the people. But for some reason, the kind of utopian socialism that Sanders and Warren and many on the Democratic ticket are talking about is basically the government forces some of the people to support and give away their stuff to the selected people that the government says you need to give them your shit that you went out and worked to earn or you worked to produce. You have to give it to them for free or you have to pay for them to get it so that they feel like they're just like you. So they have the same cable you have and the same phones you have and the same Xbox you have. We don't want them to feel bad. We don't want them to feel poor. Well, I'm sorry. You know how you stop feeling poor? Get off your ass, get a job, start earning some money, like a lot of poor people have done. My husband and I were poor 22 years ago. We didn't like it, so we changed it. We didn't just run to the government and say, oh, woe is us. We only have $40 a week for groceries. Help us. We worked 2 and 3 jobs each. And then my husband went to the bookstore, he read books, and he started a business. And his business worked. It was successful. He educated himself. No college necessary. None of our neighbors had to send him to college. He did it himself. Self-made man. He's got a career now. No college education, but he's got a great career. He's one of the best web developers in Pennsylvania, if not the country. He's well known. People from all over the country send him recruitment letters all the time asking him to come work for them. Pretty amazing, isn't it? For someone who only had $40 a week for groceries 23 years ago. But it can be done. That's how you stop being poor, folks. You don't expect your neighbors to allow you, enable you to stay poor, or to make you believe that you're actually not poor. So socialism is very dangerous, the way that the Democrats are defining it. Because like most things, they are picking and choosing which parts of socialism they're going to use, just like some Christians pick and choose which part of the Bible they believe in. So you're going to hear a lot of different political views from me than you're used to. Some of you won't like it, and I apologize for that, but you really have to sit and think. And if you like, you really should read Ayn Rand. I have a couple more books on my wish list right now that I want to read, and one of them is called The Virtue of Selfishness, where it says it's okay to work for you instead of working for everybody else. It's okay to be selfish. I like that idea a lot. This show's a bit long. I hope you stay tuned for the whole thing. And again, let's discuss. Let's talk about it. Have a great day, everybody. Political Paula is out.